made me just think of something. It inspired me because I pulled up the YouTube homepage and guess who put a new video out about our favorite shitbird in South Korea right now. Rev put out a video about Johnny. So, let's find out. You guys were saying they're cooking him even more in court. Let's see just how much more they're cooking him. Shall we? Let's fucking go.
Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So I have an early Christmas gift for you all. We have some big updates regarding Johnny Somali, including an official trial date for him, as well as some new charges he is facing. Now, this entire situation with Johnny Somali has blown up even more than he probably ever imagined. Not only is there immense national outrage for his actions in South Korea, but there is international attention on this more than he's ever had before. In fact, it's gotten so bad that this whole story is breach containment. I mean, you have sources like CNN covering Johnny Somali. It's actually quite insane.
Wait, Ellie? Chat. Have you seen CNN reporting? And Rick wanted Gibbon, thank you for the follow. Like the actual big news covered Johnny Somali. Fucking hell. That's insane. And neither do I. That's why I was shocked. That's exactly why I was shocked. Revan, I don't think so. I really don't think so. Because everybody in America wants him to go to jail. There's maybe only a couple of thousand people in total that actually, I'd say even less. There's probably less than 1,000 people that actually like Johnny Somali. The vast majority of the American populace hates Johnny Somali. So if the US government stepped in, especially with this new government that's going to be coming in, it would not be viewed very favorably by the US populace. So I don't think they're going to bail him out. I think he may be fucked. And you know what? Good. Because like Rev was saying, it's his own fucking hubris that got him into this. He basically has been, like, fucking around. Oh, hang on. 1 second, chat. Sorry, chat. I was just admonished to watch my language. Chat, I don't swear that much, do I? Do I? But, okay, so back on track. It's his own fault. He's been bebopping around the world, acting like a complete ass. Okay, chat, how long has he been doing this? Like, seriously, how long has he been doing his nuisance streaming? I honestly don't know. Years? So he's been doing this for 2 to 3 years. Acting like he's untouchable. So yes, it's his own hubris. As the expression goes, I wish I had this in the sound board. Sheer fucking hubris that has put him into this position. And you know what? He's finally finding out. It took long enough. It absolutely took long enough, but he is finally finding out. And I'm glad I've tuned in to see it.
But all of this stems from his activities in South Korea over the past 2 months or so. You guys know the story at this point. He goes around being a nuisance streamer, pushes things way too far, ends up getting jumped many times, tries to leave the country, gets stopped by Korean authorities,
I'm a young
and eventually
person.
he's
I made a
indicted on a
mistake.
charge of
Really?
obstruction of business
Really?
relating to this clip right here, because just like everything else in Johnny Somali's life, it is on film, because he films every waking moment of his life, so therefore all of his crimes in South Korea are also recorded and now being used.
Well, Blade Zero, you bring up an excellent point, which is why Johnny is acting this way. Because in all the other countries that he is quote-unquote visited and caused this incredible chaos, he was never punished. That's the core of it there. He was never truly punished in any of these countries that he caused havoc. Yeah, Japan put him in jail for like a couple days, and then he did some BS apology that he laughed about later and said he lied his ass off to the judge and he wasn't actually sorry. He's never been punished.
The more you around, the more you're gonna find out.
Exactly, Kinito. It's he never. This is just like with Jack Doherty. All of these, like, you know, like rich streamers that basically their entire content is just basically giving everyone the finger. It's their entire existence is just one giant middle finger to the world. But they don't get punished for it. And if they don't get punished for it, they're gonna think, cool, I can just keep doing this. And I've said this too many goddamn times to count. If people if people do stuff like this and they don't receive punishment, they'll think they're not doing anything wrong. They get punished if they actually face consequences, remove their money, remove their freedom, then they'll go, oh, maybe this is a bad idea. And that's the only way it's going to happen. He has yet to actually get this. South Korea is the first country that's actually going, homie, we don't play that game here. Thank God.
Against him. And in this case, with this charge of obstruction of business, I mean, does it get any easier than this? The trial should be as long as this 2-minute clip, because it's just that cut and dry. However, there's more to this story and what's going on in South Korea.
They actually talked about
the charges and the trial dates. This is a very crazy story from a few days ago where for about 2 hours, South Korea was in a state of martial law. Like I said, only for about 2 hours, and it was eventually lifted.
I thought it was 6 hours. I thought you said it was 6 hours.
The memes regarding Johnny Somali and this events were crazy. That just shows you how much people despise Johnny Somali.
Oh my God.
National news about South Korea, and they immediately are making posts like this saying Johnny Somali executed, body hung outside of South Korean parliament. 77,000 likes. Here's another one where someone's
very telling how many likes this got, even though it's a shitpost. Dricel, I've made the reference a couple of times now. I've talked about that. I've talked about the Orville episode where it's an entire planet ruled by social media. But this is kind of telling about how many people liked the post of this.
Said just in, Johnny Somali game ended in South Korea. And there's even a note on this one. I don't even think this is just for dispelling misinformation. It's probably just to not get people's hopes up, because that's how bloodthirsty people are for Johnny Somali on social media. And honestly, with his behavior, is it really that surprising? But we do have some updates to go over today, beginning with this Dexerto article here.
Well, Megan, I'm going to get into that.
Trial date revealed as South Korean police prepare more charges. Now, Dexerto's been doing a good job.
6 hours not bad, but still hold no candle to UK winning a war in just 30 minutes.
Little bit potato there, Heckle. That's you are kind of talking about two very different things, honestly. Martial law and an actual war That's very different. But Omega, in terms of what you're saying, I don't know if he's responsible, if he's like in some small way influenced the decision for martial law. I would not surprise me if the South Korea president maybe equated what happened with Johnny as like the bulk of his reasons for trying to pull that. He probably like, amongst the varied quote unquote reasons that he tried to declare martial law like that, I have no doubt that Johnny might have been one of them, but it was one amongst many. Primarily a grab for power. That's the primary reason was a grab for power, and all the other reasons which Johnny would be included that were literally just excuses to try and seize power. End of it. So, but, here's the thing. Johnny has influenced life in South Korea. The South Korea police are now doing anti-terrorist drills involving streamers, live streamers. Like
Can we melt Johnny Salami and Jack Dorky down together and pour the idiot soup result into the sewer where it belongs?
No, because then you'll poison the alligators. I like the alligators in the sewer, Kanito. The alligators haven't done anything wrong. Leave them alone. Why should we punish them? But, like, that's the thing. Johnny is partially responsible for some major changes, like the RO, like police departments doing anti-terror drills that involve streamers acting like complete asshats. So he has influence. He has created an influence in the negative on a widespread state. And that can't be forgotten.
Covering the story mainly because they're using Legal Mindset as a source here. He is, of course, an attorney who is covering this very closely, and he really is the perfect person to cover this right now, and I definitely want to share his accounts with you so you can keep track of everything going on with Johnny Somali, because not only is he a lawyer, but also he is in Korea, so he is there to cover everything as it's unfolding, especially with this upcoming trial. But first, let's get some information about the trial and how people like Legal Mindset are going to be covering it.
For you, this is his trial here in Seoul, South Korea. And we can officially announce that it is going down on December 20th, 2024, right before
Get
Nice.
ready,
right
yes,
on Friday.
early Christmas gift.
Now,
hey, Johnny. South Korea got a Christmas present for ya.
to be very clear, this is Seoul time. So for many of you who are in the U.S., this will be something that'll be on the evening of the 19th when it goes down. A couple factors in this. There is no recording allowed in the courtroom. So we will not be able to record inside of the courtroom.
That's not surprising.
However, we will be able to make some video, and possibly record outside of the courthouse, outside of the courtroom.
Oh, the memes are going to be amazing. Watching Johnny Somali walk into that courtroom is going to be hilarious. That's going to be...
Well, hey, wait, did Legal Mindset say that he'd be able to watch and walk in? Hang on.
No recording allowed in the courtroom. So we will not be able to record inside of the courtroom.
That's not surprising.
However, we will be able to make some video and possibly record outside of the courthouse, outside of the courtroom.
Oh, the memes are going to be amazing. Watching Johnny Somali walk into that courtroom is going to be hilarious. That's going to be all...
There is a possibility, depending, I have no idea. There may not be video footage of Johnny walking in and out. I don't know. Because he's so reviled right now, I have a little bit of a suspicion that Johnny is not going into the courthouse through the front door. I have a suspicion he's going to be, like, going in through, like, a back entrance. Kind of like he needs to prepare his own back entrance for prison. But I suspect that there is a chance there may not be footage of Johnny entering and leaving the courtroom. I could be wrong. He may just he may go right up the front steps and right through the front door. But something tells me, well, Kaibo, the reason why I don't think they're gonna perp walk him through the front door is because he's so reviled. He's been attacked numerous times. There's going to be a crowd of people wanting to beat the shit out of Johnny, standing in front of the courtroom. And to alleviate a possible riot, that's why I think maybe that he'll be going through an alternative entrance. Possibly. That's my suspicion. But we'll see, we'll see on the 20th.
All over the internet. I'm already predicting it. Invest in your meme stocks right there.
And also, I'll be able to live tweet outside of the courtroom, and even perhaps from inside the courtroom as well. So we will have those updates for you. I will be there. I will see everybody and see Ramsey in court on the 20th. Now, this will probably happen in the morning. So once again, just be aware of that. And we can now look forward to that in less than 2.5 weeks. Now, an important...
So, you got the information there. He'll be live tweeting and doing stuff like that. And of course, I'll put a link to his Twitter
and YouTube
him if you want to follow everything going on. Because I love a good...
So many dumb ways to die. Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die.
Live tweets session regarding an ongoing event that's always interesting. And with the lack of cameras, or what seems to be the lack of cameras being allowed inside the courtroom, this is probably the best way to get your coverage. But yes, go prepare for the 20th. Get ready to see Johnny Somali in the Thunderdome over there, fighting for his life as he's facing these charges. However, there's some pretty interesting information.
Oh, I know, Itanasi. I approved it.
This particular case and how the South Korean legal system works, and Johnny Somali pretty much has no way to wiggle out of this.
Now, an important thing is there are multiple stages to a trial. This is not going to be going down like the United States, where a trial starts, it goes for 2 weeks, and then it's over. In fact, this is something that is just the first hearing, where they will have the indictment, they'll have the opening statements, and Ramsey Khalid Ismail will have a chance to plea if he wants to plead guilty. But
also a thing with his name, he hates his real name so much. He hates it so much that he'd rather be called Johnny Somali. That's always funny to me.
Even if he pleads guilty, there will still be a sentencing phase, which will take several weeks and allow for folks who may want to intervene, may want to present other evidence, to present evidence as to his culpability in this case.
Which would be amazing. If you could introduce anything, that is already a giant win. I mean, you already have people like...
It also means that we're probably not going to see a finality to the case until after the new year.
Present to anyone
probably February.
Who is allowed to do so with, and that's already looking bad. But people are making...
Oh, wait. Hang on, let me read that again. I was looking down. Want to help him face justice? Any of you have clips, video, or comments from Johnny Somali?
Do you think there is a chance of another Why Gary Why scenario with Johnny Cheer 100? Johnny might wind up with a Korean candy cane up his chimney on Xmas Day and a big lump of coal in his stocking.
No, just stick the lump of coal up his ass right along with the candy cane. They forget the stocking part. Just both of it. Right up the poop chute. Absolutely, that's what it deserves. And I'm trying to remember what the Why Gary Why thing was. I don't think I'm actually... Oh, yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah, now Yep, I know. Now I know what you're talking about. I remember the unsub guys had the guy on the program, and he had the book about it. You're right. Yep. Okay. Now, yeah, I get it now. So the question is you're gonna be another Why Gary Why scenario with Johnny? I'm gonna say no. Honestly, I don't think so. Because they want to beat the shit out of him. I don't think, and I could be wrong, I don't think they're going to go the route of unaliving him. And, well, Kaibo, not necessarily with a firearm, but Korea has knives. But I don't foresee them going the route of unaliving. He's pissed off a lot of people, but not to the point where they want to unalive him. So, I don't foresee anybody going that route with him. I don't see it going that extreme. I don't even think a gang would do it because the problem is, like with the gang, not so much problem, but for most people, Johnny Somali is big news in South Korea right now. He's made big news. So anything happening to him, thank you, Seamus, and someone tell Dave Doom to refresh. The thing is, if anybody, Johnny Somali is, like, he's in the newspapers, like, big time in South Korea right now. If anybody were to unalive him, there would be a very public investigation and a lot of public interest. So the police would really work the case. And so you'd have less chance of getting away with it. That's why I think there's far less of a chance of someone unaliving him versus simply just beating the shit out of him. So, kicking his ass? Yes, absolutely. I 100% there. Unaliving him? No. I don't see anyone going that route, honestly.
He is allowed to do so with, and that's already looking bad. But people are making entire graphs of everything that Johnny Somali is doing overseas, particularly in Korea. And you can look.
Oh, wow. Excuse me. What the hell? Jesus, look at this. These are all of his crimes. Let's see. Threatened to bomb something, harass community, death threats toward Japanese, lying under oath, general harassment, trespass on building sites, screaming at people, illegal consumption of alcohol, refused to show ID to a police officer, disruption of business, drug use, assault, harassment of disabled streamer, insult to the president, insult against YouTubers, paying Kwon sounds on the loudspeaker, rotten fish on public transport, playing North Korean propaganda. I'm surprised I didn't get on the live for that one. Puff? What are you talking about, Puff? Grooming a child? Where's... See. Sexual harassment in the streets, deepfake of Brandon's wife, an MMA fighter. Uh-oh. Deepfake. Possession deepfake Vivian. Production lewd images, deepfake of blackmail by the YouTubers, blackmail against legal mindset, threaten the docs, threaten family, incitement of violence, dissemination of harmful materials, grooming child. What did he try to groom? Or what? Who is involved with his supposed grooming? Oh, you're talking about Puffy. Okay, I gotcha. I never heard him refer. I don't think I've ever heard you referred as Puff. That's why I think it threw me. Wow, like that's a lot. And the curious question is how much of this is going to be in the case. That's the question. We've got a lot of crimes here. The Japan one, this is not gonna come into play at all. But the question is how much of his crimes are going to make it to the Korean court? Because that's what's going to count.
These are all of the potential crimes that Johnny Somali has been committing. It is actually insane, stemming from cyber crimes, sex crimes, all of these potential things, terroristic threats. I mean, it's really insane, all of the stuff he could potentially face charges for. But yes, this is actually one I want to show you guys.
Well, he won't face Japan charges.
That is making the rounds. This is kind of the latest thing going on with Johnny Somali. You can read the caption. It doesn't sound great, but listen to the beginning of this clip where Johnny Somali is interacting with this streamer named Moxie.
Can you please help me? Help me! He said he's gonna rape me.
Yeah, not an expert on South Korean law here, but I have a feeling what Johnny Somali
This happened in South Korea?
is probably a crime. I know that's a hot take right there. It's probably stunning to make such an assumption like that, but yeah, not looking good, and it's just being added to the list of things that he has done. But this is the very interesting portion of the video. So Johnny Somali has been hit with an additional charge.
Now, I want to hear that clip again, because I don't know if Johnny actually said anything there. Hang on.
Can you please help me? Help me! He said he's gonna.
Wait. What, damn it? I know Somali blanket. Okay. This would be a hard sell for charging him with SA. It would. Because he did not outright threaten to SA her. He did it. He said he knows some, it sounds like Somalians, that would do that. So, could the argument be made? Absolutely. Is there, are there other clips where he did actually say that he would SA? I'm guessing there probably are. This clip alone that we're seeing, you would be hard-pressed to prove SA and the intention of it with that singular statement. So, could it be done? Yes. A good lawyer that is a wordsmith, could probably do a very compelling argument and tie it back to Johnny in some way and say he threatened to SA her. Yes, it could be done. On its face, that statement, you might be a little hard-pressed to to tie that statement as he threatened to actually SA her. It would be difficult to do. And my guess is they have so many charges against him, they will probably not pursue that one and instead go with the slam dunks. They'll probably just say, fuck it, we'll leave that one alone. We've got 50 other charges here that are just as bad or worse. We'll stick, and we've got hard evidence on them. We'll stick with that.
Yeah, not looking good, and it's just being added to the list of things that he has done. But this is the very interesting portion of the video. So Johnny Somali has been hit with an additional charge before his December trial in South Korea. Now, what is this charge? Well, it's a very interesting one, and of course, Legal Mindset here is going to explain what this charge is.
Breaking news. Charges were added to his current case on the 20th.
Oh boy.
This is interesting. So, Violation of Minor Offenses Act. Let me look that one up. So, breaking of the Minor Offenses Act is something that
already sounds like something involving a young adult. It already sounds like Johnny did something very stupid with a, we will call, small adult. Oops.
Includes for minor offenses such as squatting, possessing a lethal weapon, impersonating.
Okay, I was way the fuck off. No, I was way the fuck off. It's literally just minor as in not major crimes. It's minor crimes. Okay, we were way the fuck off. We went like this way, and the list actually went this way.
Offenses such as squatting, possessing a lethal weapon, impersonating an official, or failing to report a person in need of help.
So he would actually go further and check out some of the examples that are listed under this minor offenses law here. And really, there's a lot of things that Johnny Somali and his behavior
a pretty significant blanket law.
But this one in particular we're going to listen to is pretty much hitting the nail on the head with Johnny Somali's behavior in South Korea.
Unauthorized handling of livestock, obstruction of flow of waterways, begging, creation of insecurity. Oh, this is nice. Oh, look at this. Look at this. This is an easy slam dunk. Any person who makes another uneasy, annoyed, or offended by standing in the way, provoking a quarrel, gathering around, following and uttering, or doing highly rough or menacing words or conduct.
That one video we saw where he chased that girl into the makeup shop.
Exposing fearful tattoos at a public place used or frequented by many people, such as Parker Road. Well, he would definitely be starting a fight. He was provoked.
Yeah, hello, Rook, I know.
This is not a huge violation here that he's being charged with.
No, that's like minor crimes is small
charges, and that basically puts Johnny Somali in.
I gotta put this in though. This kind of minor offenses act is kind of. I'm not entirely sure I like it because it's just blanketing a lot of shit into this minor offenses act. Like, we only see a small handful of these things, but there's a lot. Like, it is so varied. It is fucking blanket law. And that is honestly scary. It kind of reminds me of like US traffic law, where like chat, I don't know how much you know about this, but like with US traffic laws, a cop can literally pull you over for anything. So, like, seriously, like, a police officer can pull you over in the United States, and guaranteed you will have committed a violation of some kind, because they are so vast and varied. That's what this feels like, but with, simply living, not even in a car. So yeah, it feels like this feels like a law for Korean police that they can basically stop someone just because. They'll be able to come up with a reason for it. So it's kind of just like an excuse for the Korean police to just stop you and question you. And they'll have legal justification for doing so. So I gotta say, I don't like that. Yeah, it's gonna cook Johnny, but I don't like this blanketing of law. Yeah, but Dracel, yes, but the thing is, the police can't, like, what happens there is the cop realizes, oh shit, if I actually arrest him, he could probably argue his way out of it. But the rationale or the reasonable suspicion for a cop to pull you over in the first place exists. And if you have a cop that really knows their traffic law, then you could literally pull a vehicle over for any reason, even if it's like minuscule. And yeah, the cop wouldn't pull when a lawyer who knows his or her shit schools a cop on it, that's a little bit different because the lawyer knows the nuances of the law. Whereas the police officer basically works off the letter of the law, the lawyer understands the nuances, which gives the lawyer a leg up in that scenario. For the average person, they do not. And so, where someone can get pulled over and a cop will have a legal justification for it by the letter of the law, for just about anything, the same concept applies here. So that's why I don't like it.
With countries like Japan and Korea having a high 90% conviction rate, it wouldn't surprise me if there was some shenanigans behind the scenes. Cheer 100.
I don't know about shenanigans per se, Revan. I think it's more of depending on how the accused presents themselves in court will determine if they want to throw the book at them or not. And Tiberius Rex, thank you for the tier 1. Well, no, Revid, when you've got laws that are very all-encompassing and blanketing, it's not. It's actually not. You've got if you've got prosecutors and judges who do not back down. Because you're trying to compare it to American law, where American law is more about wheeling and dealing than dealing out justice. And like Asian law, like in Korea and Japan, are much more factual based. And they're more about actually doing the job because their court systems are also not as overwhelmed as the US justice system is. That's one thing to also consider. The US court system is overwhelmed and will be overwhelmed forever because of the sheer amount of cases running through it on a daily basis. The Japanese and South Korean court systems do not, they have maybe a 1/100th of the caseload that the average US court system does. So they are able to actually take the vast majority of their cases to trial and convict. They will, instead of just wheeling and dealing, or just, saying like, okay, get the, like the person's guilty, but they're like, okay, just get them out of here. We don't have time for a trial. So just, we'll drop the charges, get out. I think that makes a very big difference in terms of why, like the South Korean court system, or the prosecution has a 90% conviction rate. They have the ability and the time to actually make their cases. So I think that is a very decisive factor.
An even tougher situation in this creation of insecurity section of this law. I mean, that is Johnny Somali. He is a creation of insecurity. All he does is go around and create insecurity for others by being a nuisance and provoking people and starting fights and harassing people and acting disorderly. Like, there's other examples of things listed here that he could also fall under, but this creation of insecurity, I mean, what else could be better used to describe what Johnny Somali has been doing
that would not surprise
for
me.
months in South Korea and really just everywhere he's gone in his life and in his nuisance streaming quote-unquote career. But anyways, not looking great for Johnny Somali. Another charge. We have a trial date of December 20th, and we have the coverage from Legal Mindset, and I'm sure others as well, to look forward to when that is arriving. And yeah, I think that's going to do it for the latest Johnny Somali update. It's not looking great for him, but I don't think anyone feels sorry for him at this point. But that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys next time.
Thank you, Tiberius. I didn't stop the video because we were right at the end, but thank you so much for the 5 gifted. So, okay, so this was not as devastating as I thought it was going to be. The only additional charges was this minors violations thing. Realistically speaking, that's honestly not a big deal. They're looking at adding essentially misdemeanor crimes to his charges. What I think is going to end up happening is we're going to start seeing the bomb drop in terms of his charges after his first trial. Once his first trial is concluded, that is when we are going to see the bombshell of charges. They're going to basically secure this conviction, because when they bring more charges after the conviction, it's easier. And it brings higher penalties. So wait for the conviction. Once he gets convicted, that's when they're going to be bringing all new charges, and that's when they're going to take everything they've got sitting in their back pocket, and it's all going to come down on Johnny's head. That's going to be the day to remember.